Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. Tommo's late. Tommo's late. Tommo's late. Hello, everyone. Just under a minute late, technically. Okay. How we doing, everyone? Come on. We're back. There's some dust on the camera. How we doing, everyone? Been a while. Been a while. What's good, people? Hello, Akash, Pilot, Aryan, Assel, Akil, Tom, Tommy, Grass, Bastian, Simon, Flash, Tobes, good to see you, mate, Michael, Fabian. Before we get into the actual meat and bones of this stream, I do want to have a little mess with Twitter, and I'm gonna need your help. All right, so I will show you what shall I show you what I'm doing now, or is that a bit of a spoiler? You know what, I'm gonna. So I had this idea just before we came on stream because someone I follow, I think it might have been you, Toby, actually. You retweeted something that piqued my interest, and I was like, how can I make this look even more realistic? Just to mess with people. But yeah, I hope you're well, everyone. Hope you are well. Hope you are good and happy and fulfilled and enjoying life, you know? Hope we're all in a good place. Mate, I can't believe it's felt so long since we've had bloody F1 to watch. It's actually dragged, but you know what? I am ridiculously gassed for 2020 now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so ready for 2020. You have no idea. 2020 is gonna be so sick. I'm actually buzzing. Apparently we might be getting rain this weekend as well. But again, it's one of them. I'll believe it when I say it. I meant 2022. That's what I actually meant. You see how long I've been out of it? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. It's a good way of getting interaction in the live chat though, by saying something wrong. It's like in my YouTube videos. If I say Kamui Kobayashi's last season in F1 was in 2012, then I get loads of people telling me it was 2014. More interaction, you know? All right, give me a sec. I'm not quite done. No, I'm not gonna show you what I'm doing yet, but don't worry. Don't worry. It'll be worth the wait, I promise. But yeah, I guess first and foremost, what are our expectations going into Spa Francorchamps? If you had to estimate a rating out of 10 for this race, hit me in the live chat with what that rating would be. Tell me, talk to me. Talk to me. I need to cut that out. 10s, 6s, 7s, 4s. Okay. I mean, I feel like Spa. Is there anyone in the live chat who doesn't like Spa as well? Because first of all, what's wrong with you? And secondly, I don't believe they exist. I think everyone likes Spa. I haven't kind of come across a person who doesn't. Is not a Spa enjoyer. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Rowney, for the 179. Big up. Long-term supporter. Appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, I think if you don't like Spa, you just want attention. That's my that's my opinion on it. I'm joking, of course. You're allowed to have your own opinion. But come on. Spa is sick. Okay, we're getting there. Hang on. I'm almost ready. I just want to mess with Twitter. But obviously, because I'm doing the live stream, and there's how many of you are here? About 1,000 of you are here. We can have fun. We can traumatize a few fans of a certain driver, but you'll see who in a minute. Okay, that's good. I think there's one more thing I want to do to make this even better. I promise this is worth the wait. I do. I absolutely promise you this is definitely worth the wait. Oh dear. But yeah. Belgium. Spa. Fun. festivities. We've also got some news to talk about because, well, unsurprisingly, in the least surprising news of all time, Fernando Alonso has extended his contract at Alpine, which, again, no surprises there. Listen, man's been on fire this year. He's on a wild one, and fair play. I think he deserves it. In fact, what we can... No, I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to accidentally share screen and spoil. Sad news for Joe. Yeah, I get it, but obviously Fernando's been driving so well. You know what I mean? Don't know if you've heard about all the green belt drama here in Collier Road. They should make an F1 circuit with the land. No, I haven't, Rowney. What's going on? What's going on with Collier Road? What are they doing to my Collier Road? I hope bloody Rosendale isn't messing with it. Do not like that man. He's the Romford councillor, by the way. Oscar Piastri. To be fair, yeah, Oscar's donning it in his debut year in Formula 2. Look, we're going into new regs. I think, you know, Alpine need to make sure they're hitting the ground running. I get it's frustrating that these young drivers don't seem to be getting the opportunities. But at the same time, it's like they have to make the best decision. And I think, you know, Alonso's driving the nuts off that car. And I think it's very understandable, you know? Right, give me 2 secs. I'm almost ready, chat. I promise I'm almost done. I promise. I swear on Minton that I'm almost done. We will get there. Rosenthal is an absolute flip. He is, isn't he, Rowney? He is a bit of a bum. Not keen. Also, West Ham, West Ham top of the Premier League, by the way. For anyone who didn't know, get to know. Up the irons. Oh my God, we're all, I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm just cropping something. There we go. Right, cool. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That is good. Put that on full. Okay, cool. We're getting there. Honestly, this is going to be worth the wait. And then, oh, there's one more thing I need to change. We do need more teams, I agree. Well, if you haven't seen my What If Toyota joined or rejoined Formula 1 video, then you should also check that out because I think there's quite a compelling argument for Toyota to come back. Obviously, they won at Le Mans last weekend, didn't they? Dominant performance, as they typically do. Oh, mate, this is perfect. Okay, are you ready? Oh, and also thank you, Benjamin, for the $5 Aussie. Stop teasing us, never. No, come on, this is sick, right? Are you ready? Now, I've got a screen share on either Twitter for the Fernando news or my Photoshop, right? You've all got to help me out, right? I want to mess with as many people as possible, okay? Right, screen share. Do you think this looks pretty? This looks pretty realistic. I'm saying this is looking pretty realistic, right? Now I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna post this on Twitter and see how many people we can mess with. So give me a second. Let me just get Twitter opened. Let me go. This is I love just retweeting an old kind of driver confirmation, but it's even better. I feel like if I can, you know, Photoshop it and it makes people actually believe it's real. Okay. All right, cool. I've tweeted it. Now, what I need you to all do is hang on, let me screen. Oh, this is phenomenal. I'm very happy with myself. Hang on. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. There we go. Right, I need you to all go and retweet this and interact with it like it's real. Please. Don't do it, you'll get in trouble. Who's gonna get me in trouble for doing a Photoshop? Come on. That looks pretty real, doesn't it? That looks pretty real. I've changed the date. I've changed this. Today's date. 2022. Well, this is your time. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you have to follow me on Twitter now. I will talk about Belgium. I just literally 2 minutes before, I think it was you, Toby, I saw you retweet the original tweet of this. So I was like, come on. The quote tweet. Come on. The sirens do make it perfect. I agree. Thank you, Jasper. Toby, this is your fault, mate. This is all you're doing. You didn't like my tweet, Brian. Come on, sort it out. Yes, people will believe it. That's what I mean, because I photoshopped it, so it looks real. I love Twitter, man. Twitter, honestly. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna come back to this later, all right, and see how well it's performing. All George Russell fans are gonna be in tears. Aldas is gonna lose the plot. Hopefully, I catch some big ones. But anyway, right? Okay, cool. I've waffled too much without actually talking about the point. The quotes are climbing. They're climbing. All right. Anyway, we're back at Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's good to be back. What I did want to say, and I'm going to take this opportunity to mention that, and thank you, Winchy, for the 179. This is some of my finest work. Is obviously, this is now 3 years, three-year anniversary of Antoine Hubert's passing. We had the huge crash in GTs up Radio Rouge with Jack Aitken involved, which he's still got a broken arm from, isn't he? If you haven't, I don't recommend, if you really want to find footage of the crash, you can. I mean, it's pretty nasty. The fact that he was in a GT car, which has a full kind of chassis built around. Well, it's 2019, wasn't it? Was it 2020 that Hubert died? Was it 2019? I thought it was 2019. I'm sure it was. Oh, it's 2021 now. Oh, for God's sake. My head is scrambled. Because my head's in 2022. My head's in 2022, so I can't bloody... But anyway, the point is that I am having a wobbler. I didn't get enough sleep last night, to be fair. My eyes are bloodshot and red. I was up till late. But yeah, is it too dangerous? Is it one of them? I know F1 shared that clip, didn't they? You thought it was... Yeah, to be fair, Mr. EC Football, I've done this Photoshop of Bottas. That put me in 2022 mind. But yeah. So, is it too dangerous? F1 posted that clip of Kimi Räikkönen going through the smoke coming out of Radio Rouge, and that was another bit of a controversial post because some people were like, bottle on Kimi, brave, blah blah blah, which was fair, but also some people that's very dangerous. If there was a car in the way. I think it's one of them, isn't it? It's motorsport's always going to be there's always going to be an inherent danger there. That's always going to happen. Thank you, Atnas, for the 5 BGNs. Pumped up, Tommo. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the 5 BGNs. Yeah, look, it's always going to be inherently dangerous. There is only so much we can do, but I feel I'm not interested in getting to the stage where we're the cars have to only go a maximum of 100 miles an hour so that the safety. For me, that's not a reasonable, because then that just destroys the sport, right? But at the same time, I think there should, in the same way, Jackie Stewart, Niki Lauda, when they were so vocal about danger in sport back in their days, you know, they were kind of on their own. They were fighting their own fight. They weren't getting a huge amount of support from drivers around them, but they ended up becoming, you know, trailblazers. They ended up becoming those who, you know, we now look back on as being, you know, that what they were doing was correct. What they were doing was right. It is a balance, but I think as well, whenever these incidents happen, we need to at least try and look at it and learn as much as we can to see if we can fix it. You know what I mean? Because if we just be like, oh yeah, we just accept it because motorsport's dangerous. I think there's more we can do, and I do think there's more we can do with Radio No Rouge. But I don't want them to change the corner itself. But if we're talking about runoff, adding gravel, whatever, I'm not an expert in terms of track safety. I'm just another fan like you lot with an opinion. But I definitely think we need to look at it, don't we? Surely. Thank you, Jonas, as well, for the €2. Russell needs to replace Bottas. Well, it's confirmed now. Bottas is staying for 2022. Actually, hang on. Can we mess with anyone who just jumped in straight? Breaking news. Breaking news. Bottas is staying for 2022. Oh, dear. Yeah, to anyone who's just joined, it's confirmed. I'm joking. It's a Photoshop. Oh, anyway, right, cool. Last time though, Lewis Hamilton won 2020 Spa, one of the few races we got last year. Lewis won, and thank you, Hiresh Kesh, for the 40 rupees. Wouldn't rain make Spa more dangerous? I mean, rain makes all tracks more dangerous, really, doesn't it? I don't think it disproportionately affects Spa, but yeah, I mean, again, it's one of them. Like, do we not race in the rain because it's too dangerous? Well, no. Like, we accept that certain things like rain increases the level of danger, but we're happy to accept that. But what I still think with the design of tracks and the design of cars, we should always be trying to minimize that danger. That's the way I see it. But yeah, Lewis won last time out. Ricciardo came through at the end, didn't he? And that might reflect in my predictions, maybe. Is Kira upset at me? We have good fun here. We have good fun. Just by the way, Bottas is confirmed for 2022. Joking. Right. Anyway, my predictions for the 2020. Oh no, I didn't change the number. It still says, oh no, it's 2021. What's wrong with me? I keep thinking it's 2022 now. I'm so excited for 2022 that I can't get my head out of 2022. It's actually, man, it's ridiculous. Okay, so I think Lewis is going to win. I think Alpine will be team of the weekend. I think Carlos Sainz will get driver of the weekend, and I think Lance Stroll will be struggle of the weekend. Thank you, Jonas. Oh, hang on. Oh, though, Jonas again. Thank you, Jonas. Far too kind. Thank you for another €2. I'm from Belgium, and it's really looking to rain. I mean, that would be great. Love a bit of changeable weather. That would be good to see. Bro, useless, mate. Photoshop's a cornerstone of all my content. Why do I think Lewis is going to win? Well, I think Mercedes are definitely going to bring... Ultimately, it does help the fact that Bottas does seem to be closer than Perez. I know Bottas is behind. No, Bottas is just ahead, isn't he, of Perez in the standings, but not by much. But I think pace-wise, and particularly quali pace, Bottas is closer to Lewis than Perez is to Verstappen. I think having that team dynamic at a track like Spa is going to really help Mercedes. And I think just it's always a toss-up at the end of the day, isn't it? But Bottas will win after his new contract. I do hope we don't see any turn one like, as much as Hungary was like obviously very entertaining, it was a mad one at the end. Like, as much as all that was true, at the same time, I don't want to see that every race where loads of people getting taken out the first corner. Like, I'm happy with like one of them a year where it's a bit manic and people who don't typically win, and you know what I mean? But like, I don't want to see that every weekend. I'm not even checking the quotes. 620 likes, 161 retweets. Toby, you grassed me up in the first comment. But yeah, so I'm saying Alpine team of the weekend. Their package was very, very strong last year, wasn't it? Ricciardo had a great race, had fantastic pace at the end. At this stage of the season, Renault were looking in contention for, you know, P3 in the constructors. It was later on they fell off, but this track seems to go well for that team. And obviously, such a strong result for both cars. You know, Ocon sorted his chassis out. Fernando's driving like a madman. Like, it's all looking positive. So I think Alpine are going to have a double point weekend. I wouldn't be surprised anyway. Does Valtteri still have a 5-place grid penalty? That's true, actually. I forgot about that. He does. Stroll does as well, doesn't he? Do they both have penalties? Aston Martin should be strong here, hopefully. Yeah, him and Lance. Yeah, fair. That makes sense. Because they both essentially did the same thing. And then, yeah, I'm backing Carlos. Look, Carlos, if it is raining, changeable conditions, he's very good. He's very close to Charles in terms of quality, in terms of pace. So I reckon Carlos could be on for a pretty decent result. I think Carlos is going to get his win this year. You know, I would not be surprised. It's a madness in chat. Yeah, none of. I think Retty was here, but I need more mods. But it's fine. Just everyone be nice, and we can move. All right, because I will just ban people if they're not being nice. All right, it's not much to ask. Oh, by the way, for anyone who's just turned up, Bottas has confirmed for 2022. I'm joking. Right, on to your predictions. Thank you, Jonas, and for another Euro. I'm joking, he's not ready. So, this is what you lot said. I put on Twitter and I put on my YouTube community the polls. Max Verstappen, 56% of people think Max Verstappen is going to win the race. 27% Lewis, 6% Norris. Really, 6% Norris. Damn. 34% say McLaren team of the weekend. Ferrari 23, Red Bull 16. So no love for Alpine from you lot, which fair enough. Lando, obviously driver of the weekend, because A, he's driving insanely well, but also it's Lando, so of course he's going to win that one. 26 from Lando, 14. Charles 13. I think Charles will, Charles at Spa. He got his first win at Spa. Obviously the day after the tragic events of 2019. But yeah, I mean, Charles has proven he's got the minerals, he's quality. I think he'll have a good race as well, to be fair. But I'm saying Carlos will come out ahead. And then struggle of the weekend. 38% say Valtteri Bottas. Obviously, he's got his grid penalty. I'm surprised Stroll didn't make the top three. Got Perez and Ricciardo in there as well. Obviously, Ricciardo 14% are in drive of the weekend. I think that's more out of hope than expectation. Gasly as well. It's true. Benjamin. It is true. I was going to say Benji. Gasly is Gaz is on a mad one. Like for me, he's the third best driver, been the third most impressive driver of this year to me. I think Gasly's been quality, but yeah, AlphaTauri should be clear P5, shouldn't they? But Tsunoda's not up there, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised by how many actually. So there's over double the vote for Verstappen to win than Lewis. I'm surprised the gap's that big. To be fair, And yeah, I'm surprised Stroll didn't make the top 3 for struggle of the weekend. Shout out Aradhya from India. Big up, mate. Welcome. Good to see you. Right. Also, just as well, before we carry on, it's just breaking news. Bottas has re-signed for 2022. I'm joking. It's Photoshop. When's that going to get old? Anyway, right. Shall we go through everyone now? Don't want to miss out on anyone. So, obviously, Lewis ended up pulling back to P2. Obviously, Hungary. Seb lost his P2, which was gutting. My understanding in the end is that the Aston Martin didn't have it did only have 300 mil left in the car, but there was a fuel flow issue, so it used more fuel than it should have. That's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will in the live chat. That's my understanding. The car did actually use too much fuel, so they couldn't extract it because it wasn't there. So Seb got his penalty. I mean, he used, that is the case, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Thank you, Trish. I appreciate that. Yeah, so, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if he's used too much fuel, obviously, you think that using too much fuel would increase performance, right? I did do a tweet where I kind of roughly worked out, percentage-wise, the amount of fuel he used extra relative to the total amount of fuel in the tank, and equating that to time, and it was like 40 seconds. But I mean, obviously that's, I'm just a man with a calculator. Thank you, Ben, for the 179. Check tweet, man, like Among Us, or like Among Us. Predictions, silly season. There you go. Cheers, Ben, for the 179. Just making sure you wasn't trying to trip me up there. Thank you, Adam, as well, for the $5 Aussie. I think Mazepin will do well because Spa is a strong track for him. Yeah, I'm not really sure what his track record here is at Spa, to be fair. I don't remember a lot of how well have certain drivers driven where. Was there breaking news about Bottas? No, it's not, I'm joking. But yeah, so penalty, it kind of had to be, didn't it? If he has used too much fuel. That's just the rule. If you use too much fuel, more fuel than everyone else, then over a certain limit, you get a penalty. But yeah, Lewis obviously got that P2. It was a great recovery drive at Hungary. You can't argue with that. The team made a mistake by not pitting him, but ultimately he came back through, ended up getting the P2 in the end, which is obviously put him ahead. I think he would have been ahead of Max even in the P3, wouldn't he? In the P3. But yeah, Lewis up top. Valtteri, obviously, weekend to forget last weekend. It's one of them, and it is obviously, in the context of the mistake, we judge mistakes not necessarily by how calamitous the input was. It's all about the output. And him and Lance have obviously just broken a little bit too late. He's got, caught out by the loss of downforce behind Lando. Stroll, I don't know what, he's probably done the same as well. And yeah. Well, of course it is, Joe. It's Hungary, which is a track that's not known for being great for overtaking. And also, you look at how someone like Bottas has got stuck in traffic before. You look at how Sergio gets stuck, struggles to come through the pack. You can't argue that as a recovery drive goes, it's a great recovery drive. It just is. Because he could have just stayed at, he came all the way from the back and through and had way more pace as well. He would have won that race if it wasn't for Fernando. Fernando's fantastic defensive. And that's the thing as well. Lewis passed everyone, and it was only against Fernando that he got stuck. He got past Carlos quite quickly. Like, that definitely deserves, as much as the team, you know, the team made that decision to keep him out as well. So it was a good drive from Lewis, all in all. But yeah, Valtteri needs a strong weekend. We keep saying this. We keep saying he needs a strong weekend. He still hasn't won a race this year. He's only got one P2, I think. I think he's only finished second once. I could be wrong, but I think that's only happened once. Which for a Mercedes second driver just isn't good enough. Verstappen, obviously, again, Verstappen's had him and Lando have had, obviously no one's had a faultless season. He's made mistakes, you know, he's lost pole positions, he's run wide at Bahrain. Obviously he's not had a perfect season, but it's impossible. But yeah, Max's season's been incredible so far this year. He will obviously feel begrudged that he isn't leading, given the nature of his, you know, luck at times. But look, I hope they push it right to the end of the year. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I hope it comes down to the last race, wherever that may be. I hope it comes down to the very last race. I want Lewis to get title number 8, but also I'd enjoy seeing Max win. That would be sick, seeing another team win a drivers' championship. But I do want Lewis to get 8 world titles. Maybe, to be fair, maybe Max win this year and then Lewis get his 8th, maybe next year. I would like Lewis to get number 8. But apparently I'm biased both towards Lewis and also I'm biased against Lewis. And I'm also anti-Max, I'm also pro-Max. So I don't know what to exactly, Kerry. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm biased both for and against all drivers, apparently. It does make me laugh. Thank you, Toby, as well for the $5. Do you think Checo will have a good second half of the season like he did last year? I definitely think he'll have a much better second and a half. Look, Perez's first half of the season hasn't been that great. I think we've got to say that gap relative to Max is bigger than most people expected it. I think that's fair to say. Like, you look at he's 4.5 tenths, almost half a second off of Max on average in qualifying. He's closer in race pace, but he's still not there. But at the same time, like, he's just jumped in the car. He's doing a better job than Pierre and Alex ever did. And, you know, I think the second season, as he gets a bit more comfortable, it's a bit tricky, isn't it, for like Perez and Ricciardo, because they'll spend all this time getting used to this car, and then next year it's a completely different car that they've all got to get used to again. So it must feel a bit frustrating. And yeah, it's true, Crafter. The Perez-Verstappen qualifying gap is bigger than Daniel and Lando's. It's true. It's true. But yeah, I think he will have a stronger second half of the season. I think he'll finish P3. I think he'll finish ahead of Bottas by the end of the year. What is a Chinwag? Medusa. It's like a chat. It's like kind of, yeah, just another way of saying a chat. Chinwag. Thank you, Brubberino, for the 10 Rs, whatever that currency is. I don't know. Sorry. Hi, Tommo. How you doing? I'm good, mate. Very good, thank you. What is your top 5 drivers of the year so far? Okay, I've done my little list, didn't I? So I said Lando, Max, Pierre, Fernando, Lewis. Maybe a bit harsh on Charles, but I've got high standards of Charles, and he's overextended a few times and made big mistakes, costly mistakes. But yeah. Anyway, well, we're on to Charles now. So yeah, I think Charles is definitely a future world title winner. I've got no doubt about that in my mind. I think he just needs to rein it in a little bit. He's guilty, like I say. Like I think it's way better if you've got a driver who drives at 105%, right? Which I think Charles is guilty of at times. It's easier to rein them back to 100% than it is to take a driver from 95 to 100. You know what I mean? I just think he needs to, because ultimately Charles, if you just look at this season, like look at the results, look at the performances, Charles has obviously had a better season than Carlos. But when you factor in this is Carlos's first year at the team, this is Charles's I'm losing track of time, the third third year at the team. You look at, and again, it's the same with, look at Lando. This is Lando's third year at McLaren. Ricciardo's jumped in and is nowhere near. Carlos has jumped in and is near straight away. So yeah, I think Carlos Sainz has proved a lot of people wrong. I think he's a fantastic driver. I think his early days at Toro Rosso weren't pardon me, that wasn't a burp, so I don't know why I said pardon me. Yeah, I think that driver lineup, honestly, if I had to call it now, who I think are going to win the Constructors title next year, I'm saying Ferrari with that driver lineup. But I put this question out on Twitter because I know when Carlos joined, Mattia Binotto was making noises about Mick Schumacher being lined up for that seat. But with Carlos driving so well, I don't know if Mick's going to get that opportunity. And that's why in my Toyota video, I was like, maybe Mick should consolidate. If a team like Toyota jump in the Toyota, boom, job done, stay there for a couple of years, at least, you're at a works team. And then Ferrari can play it by ear with Carlos, because I mean, Charles isn't losing that seat, rightly so, anytime soon. And Carlos is making himself undroppable at the minute, isn't he? He truly is. Yeah, obviously, Norris, can't really say much more about Lando. He's been so good this year. Again, not perfect. No one's perfect. He pushed Perez wide at Austria, which I thought did merit a penalty as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, he has been incredible. Daniel needs to step it up. He knows that more than anyone else. Don't need to repeat that because we all know that. Obviously, he's tending to struggle on tracks with a lot of low speed corners, isn't he? I watched a really good video from the race who were kind of analysing it. You're never undroppable at Ferrari. I mean, that's fair. But I think Mattia Binotto's changing the culture at Ferrari a bit. I definitely think that. But yeah, so Ricciardo, will Spa, because Spa's got kind of, it's more, there's not too many low speed corners, is there? Well, it's the low medium that he struggles with the most, it seems. Spa is more high speed. I would say he should, and again, he had such a good race there last year. I think it'll be a good weekend for Daniel. But yeah, overall, like, the consistency needs to pick up. But again, it's like the new cars next year. You know, I think certain drivers are gonna adapt better to those cars than others. I mean, there's countless drivers when you go through the history of the sport who have suited certain regulations better than others. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Obviously, all just talked about Vettel. Lance's season's just been a bit meh, hasn't it? He was unlucky, obviously, at Baku. He's picked up more point scoring finishes than Vettel. Let me check how many. Because Vettel has only actually finished 3 races in the points, which is mad to think. But that's been a P5, a P2, and a P9. And then obviously disqualification at Hungary, you have to take that away. But Lance is, so P10, P8, P8, P10, P8, P8. So he's finished 6 races in the points, Lance. But because Seb's finished, like, Seb is still 12 points ahead of Lance, and that's including the disqualification. So it's like, for Seb, it's like all or nothing. Whereas Lance has been, but that's why I said, like, Lance's season's just been a bit like, he's been consistent, but not, like, you look at the highs that Seb's achieved and you're like, well, if Seb can achieve them, then Lance has been at that team now. This is his 3rd year at the team. Is Kurt Zouma to West Ham confirmed? That'd be sick. I've been hearing about that one. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's been okay. But again, when you consider Vettel's just jumped in that car, I do think, you know, Seb's going to finish ahead of him by the end of the year for sure. Alonso Ocon, I mean, I've already waxed lyrical about how impressed I've been about Fernando. He's got his extension. It's done. It was confirmed today. He will be at the team in 2022, which is obviously a bit of a shame for someone like Oscar Piastri, who, if he continues the way he is, going to win the F2 title in his rookie year and then not going to have an opportunity. Hopefully, one of the another team might snap him up. That would be good to see, because he is definitely a raw talent, and it would be such a shame if he doesn't get an opportunity. Piastri's doing or Cornish Piastri, as I like to call him. Good luck. And then Esteban, obviously, coming off the win. I think I'm interested to see. I think Alonso Ocon's going to go right to the wire. And I've got my little bet with Aldas that I think Ocon will finish ahead of Alonso. I mean, he is by 1 point. But yeah, I think both drivers are driving well at the minute. I think if Alpine can give him a good car, I think they're onto a good thing next year. Alonso to PSG. Joe, the problem with Joe is that he's been in F2 for a while now. This is obviously Piastri's debut season. If Piastri can beat Joe in his first year, but then obviously Joe's got his Chinese backing, which is obviously always going to help. To see a Chinese driver in F1 would be quality. I think it'd be great for the sport in that part of the world as well. So, I think commercially there's more of a pull commercially for Joe, but Piastri, I think the fact that he's winning F2 in his debut season is always a good sign. But I'd like to see him both. We just don't have enough teams. We just need more teams. 12 teams, please. I'd love a 24-car grid would be lovely. Just need 12 teams. Why do I have to be a troll? Because it's funny. Kieran, it's funny. Tsunoda Gasly, I mean, again, I've already, I think Pierre's phenomenal. I think his last 2 years, since he got dropped from Red Bull, he's been easy top 3 drivers on the grid for me. If you take the exact last 2 years. Because this was his first race. Belgium, 2019 was his first race back in Toro Rosso, wasn't it? Which made that obviously a doubly difficult weekend for him, given Antoine as well. But he bounced back, and again, he did a fantastic job. Yuki has to pick it up. Obviously, the Honda connection helped get him in that seat. And, you could say, again, without the Honda connection, I reckon Albon probably would have got that seat. But it's worked out quite well for Red Bull, because Albon's obviously been helping with the car dev and doing a quite good job, apparently, all things considered. DTM Albon win. Gas. I was very happy. But yeah, Tsunoda needs to pick it up because he's getting demolished. Is Pierre Gasly going to do to Yuki Tsunoda what Fernando Alonso did to Stoffel Van Dorn? That's all I'm saying. Because, yeah, I think Yuki's, again, he's a diamond in the rough. I believe in Yuki's ultimate pace. I think it is there. I think he's shown it at times in Formula 2 with how dominant he was in some of those races. But at the same time, and some of the races this year, Bahrain, his first race, was quality. Difficult, isn't it? Lawson will take the next AlphaTauri, say. Yeah, Liam Lawson, he had a tricky weekend, didn't he, in DTM? Didn't score any points at Nürburgring. And hasn't been doing amazing in F2 either. He's down in P8, I think. He did win the first race of the year, though, and he won his first DTM race. He's doing very well in DTM. I do think Liam Lawson's a proper talent. Also, I was go-karting with him a couple of weeks ago, and he didn't overtake me. He was catching me, obviously. Duh. And but then he bottled it and went on the grass. So he obviously just got shook because he saw it was me. What can I say? Giovinazzi Raikkonen. Yeah, I mean, again, we haven't heard any driver transfer news. We thought we might do, but I reckon a lot of stuff over this last month has been confirmed, whether it's drivers coming or going or whatever. We won't probably hear publicly, but I reckon deals have been done. And I reckon Kimi's retiring at the end of the year. Surely he's retiring. I know we say that every year, but surely now. Giovinazzi, I think, as his season been, not great. I mean, he got his P10 at Monaco. Look at his results. His results, to be fair, probably they're about on par with Kimi's. He's beating Kimi in qualifying, but Kimi's having the stronger races, so which isn't a good omen, to be fair. Giovinazzi, if he really wants to stamp his authority on that seat, he should be destroying Kimi Räikkönen, because we know Kimi's not motivated in the same way that the other drivers are. It's just RB. You know, if you want to be a top, you have to be doing what, you know, Lando's doing to Ricciardo, you know, what these young drivers are doing to these established drivers. You have to be doing that in order to, you know. But yeah, I think Tonio, I think he'll stay. I think Raikkonen will go, and I think someone else will get that seat. Jules Latifi, again, what big points was it? 7th in the end for Latifi and 8th for Georgie Boy, given Sebastian Vettel's disqualification, of course. Yeah, Kimi said in an interview that he's really motivated. Yeah, but again, that's subjective. Like, is he? Can you? There's no way that Kimi is as motivated to succeed in Formula One and push than like someone like Charles Leclerc or Max Verstappen. It's just not. Or Lando. No, I'm sorry. I will never believe that. But yeah, a good weekend for Williams last weekend. Obviously, massively benefited from the DNFs, but you got to take the chances when they come, and they did. I think George is already signed for Mercedes. I think that deal's long been done. Latifi, I don't know. I mean, one second, Jos Capito's saying we don't want pay drivers, and then in the other hand is saying Nicholas is doing a great job. And it's like, is he though? Like, when you actually look at the results, so I find it hard to justify when you look at the qualifying deficit and you look at where they're finishing in races relative to one another. Like, George is handing his ass to him. Let's be real. I like Nicholas Latifi, but again, is Nicholas just a very good driver? And, you know, George is exceptional in the same way that Verstappen destroyed Gasly, Albon, and is destroying Perez right now. Like, is it just one of them? You know, we know Perez is a proven entity, yet Max is still qualifying, you know, almost half a second ahead of him. And, well, look at the points. Look at the differences in results. I know Perez has just jumped into that car, but you know what I mean? It's difficult. And then, yeah, so we'll see. I still think George is locked on. Latifi might keep his seat with George going, maybe just bring one other driver in, so you've got Nicholas carrying on that kind of car development. Bringing, I mean, maybe De Vries. The fact that Mercedes have pulled out of Formula E, I think that could maybe happen. Gasly would be ideal for Williams, but I don't think Pierre. I think Pierre should, it's what I said in my video, I think Pierre should stick tight for 2022, stay at AlphaTauri, get another year under his belt, and then he can judge, well, A, he might get offered the Red Bull seat, or B, he can make a judgment of which other, because Williams might, you know, slap the new regulations. They might smash it and do a great job, or they might cock it up and be right at the back and be nowhere near the front for years. So it just gives Pierre a chance to just stay where he is. Still, that Red Bull carrot is dangling, and then see what happens. Because you don't want to do what, like, well, we saw what Daniel Ricciardo did. He left for Renault. That was the wrong decision, obviously, because he ended up leaving 2 years after for McLaren. So it's tricky, innit? I think he needs to learn from Daniel's mistakes on that one. Because Daniel could have gone to McLaren straight away, as far as I'm aware. He could have gone straight to McLaren, but he didn't. He chose Renault. He believed in Renault over McLaren, which is a bit awkward, isn't it? And then finally Haas, Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin. I know someone said in the chat that this is a good track for Mazepin. He needs to show more. He did a better job than Mick at Silverstone, but otherwise, and he was unlucky. Mazepin was unlucky at Hungary to get done over by the Alfa Romeo mechanics. But I think Mick Schumacher's been firmly on top the whole time. I think his average quality gap is huge ahead of Mazepin. It's up there with like Verstappen and Perez's, and his race finishes are typically finishing 30-40 seconds up the road. So and Mazepin's not a bad driver. Like, he won races in Formula 2. You don't win Formula races in Formula 2 if you're complete trash. Latifi won races in Formula 2. But I do think Mick's got a lot of ability. And I think I think he'll be strong this second year, but I think he needs to get out of Haas. It just depends on how well Haas. I can't see that team being called Haas next year. Whatever. Right. Thank you, Mr. Super Chacho, for the $5. You think Red Bull might end up sacrificing the 2022 car for this year's? I do. I tweeted about that yesterday, actually. Red Bull have said they're putting a lot of focus into this year's car because they want to win the title. And I get that. And this is their best chance at a title, you know, since Seb won in 2013. But at the same time, do they win the battle but lose the war? That's not what you want. You don't want, like, sure, Max might win, but then if this puts them on the back foot, I see a team like Ferrari, who, yes, they've made developments this year's car, but you know they're going all in on 2022. You know Mercedes is going to be a big prospect. All these other teams, these midfield teams, are seeing an opportunity to offset resource and proper push for 2022. I think it's a difficult decision. I mean, you know, Red Bull didn't adjust well to the new regulations, kind of coming into the hybrid era. And, well, after 2013, hence why they haven't won a title since, and they were so dominant. And dominance never lasts forever. There's always going to be someone who's going to take Mercedes' crown eventually. I think it'll probably be Ferrari. But yeah, I think there is a big risk of that at Red Bull. Just depends on the resource, really. But I get it, because this is the chance for Max to win that title. And Max is going to get loads more opportunities. He's still only, 23? Mad how young he is still. But yeah, thank you chat show. Thank you Benjamin as well for the $5 Aussie. Good day, mate. Mercedes need to hurry up and rip the band-aid off. Leaving it late is giving everyone a bad taste. Hurry up and give George the seat he deserves. I mean, I guess strategically, when it comes to, like, when you announce these things, it's a matter of, like, how is that going to affect? Because Mercedes obviously want to win the Constructors' title, right? Actually, here's a question. With the budget cap coming in, I guess, yeah, I guess the more you win more, you still win more money the higher you finish in the Constructors, correct? Even with the new regulations, is that correct? That you still win more money if you finish higher in the Constructors? So that means that there's still, yeah, it does. So there's still, like, justification to finishing higher, because obviously then you've got to then you can operate more profitably, essentially, as a team. So Mercedes don't have to rely as much on Daimler giving them money, and they can just, you know, run at a profit, hopefully, because any business that isn't running at a profit is going to go up the Swanee sooner, at some point. Although then you've got companies like Uber who have, like, never operated at a profit, which is just mad to me. Yeah, so I just think that I think it's the Drivers' Championship. It's not even, like, I don't think Red Bull win the Constructors. I guess I think if Perez beats Bottas, then maybe they will win the Constructors. I don't know. There's so much that can happen. There's still 12 races to go as well. We're not even technically halfway through the season. Technically. Thank you, Barat, mate. Big up. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the 100 rupees. Mazepin is not a bad driver. He just has a bad attitude. IMO. He needs to know which battle to pick. Nonetheless. None this year, at least. Love to Minton. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I mean, again, his pace has been way off in quali and in race. But also, yes, his little battles with Mick. Typically, he's pushing. He's made some questionable moves. Go back to Baku with that. Almost put him in the wall at, like, 190 miles an hour. Scary. But yeah. Okay. Cool. We are almost an hour in. So, you know what I think I'm gonna do? One last time. Bottas is confirmed staying for 2022. I'm joking. Why are you lot so serious, guys? No, I'm going to knock it on the head. Thank you, everyone. Predictions. I already gave my predictions. These are my predictions. I think Lewis is going to win. I think Alpine Team of the Weekend driver of the weekend, Carlos Sainz. Struggle of the weekend, I think Stroll's going to have a difficult one. And these were your predictions, by the way. I put some polls out before we did the live stream. Read quote tweets. You know, I won't read the quote tweets on live, just in case there's anything not safe for stream. But feel free to go to my Twitter and share this, retweet it. You know, the more people believe, the better. Only 65 quote tweets. I feel like there should be more. It's 189 retweets. Thank you, Brody, for the $2.99, mate. Appreciate it. Aussie dollars, F1 Bathurst 2022. Love a bit of Mountain Panorama, mate. Thank you. That would be sick, but also I don't think that'd work. Thank you, Marcus, as well, for the $2.99 Aussie dollars. Rip Alpine Driver Academy. Yeah. Mud it is in. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Go and retweet this tweet, interact with it. I want to try and trick as many people as possible. It's been a pleasure as always. I will see you on Saturday for the quali stream. Should be fun. Looking forward to Spa this weekend. Where's Minton? He's not in here, I'm afraid. Stop avoiding Qatar questions, bro. Mate, Jacob, sorry, I can't see every single question that's being asked. Honestly, I don't even... I heard it mentioned that Qatar might be coming onto the grid, but I've literally just seen like one article about it, and I just saw the headline, so I don't know enough to comment. I'm sure I'm not a popular person on Twitter. That's the point. That's the point. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with Qatar. I don't even know what the track looks like. I'm sure like when it gets announced I'll talk about it, but I don't know at the minute, to be honest. So I will mention when it is IRL, you know. And thank you, Why Not Azuketsu, for the 50 Mexican. Appreciate it, mate. Big up. Nice bot for Mert for another year. It's a joke, or is it? It's just a Photoshop. Right, cheers everyone. Thank you all for giving me your time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay hydrated. See you on Saturday for the quali stream. Hopefully we'll have a banging Belgian Grand Prix. That would be sick. Big up Luke Motorsport in the chat as well. Love your work, Luke. Right, cheers everyone. Have a good day. Be good, be nice, be happy.